Hello, my friends. So this is a video on sort of how different ways classes can counter Ubers in pubs because I couldn't really find a video like this on YouTube. As you probably know, Uber is more or less the strongest thing in the game. Very few things can counter it besides knockback. It, you know, it basically determines the flow of the game in competitive and to a certain extent in pubs. So yeah, let's get into it. So for Scout, you don't really have a lot of options for countering Uber. Your best option is to probably run away. It turns out Force of Nature doesn't do any extra knockback to Uber players, as you can see in this clip. Uh, you could try to use shortstop, but you'll probably end up just being killed in like 2 seconds. So if you see an Uber player, your best option is really to try to block them with bonk, and maybe you could try taunting too, although that won't do much. It does do some knockback, but not a lot. So yeah, Scott's kind of screwed against Uber players, so maybe just run away. I got with as soldier, you really just shoot their feet. Try to shoot their feet with any of the rocket launchers. You could pretty much juggle every class except maybe heavy. I think you could juggle heavy too, but yeah. Yeah. Specifically, maybe try to juggle the medic if the pocket is kind of dumb and just walks forward without looking backwards. Then the Uber chain will be broken. For some reason, the mini crit cow mangler shot does more knockback than normal rocket launcher shots, so you could also try using that. I don't know how useful it is because it has to be warmed up. So yeah, Soldier's got a few options. You could also try tanking with the battalion's backup because it nullifies crits and stuff. Pyro is probably one of the, or no, it is the best class for countering Ubers. Just use your right click. That's it. You have a spammable knockback. You can, you are the Uber counter, the Uber staller. So yeah, just air blast. You could also try using the scorch shot if you're using Flog for some reason. It turns out, I think it does do slightly more knockback than flare guns, and it does seem like it can kind of juggle people. So yeah, if you wanna sack Ubers, go Pyro basically. Heavy surprisingly has a few options when it comes to countering Ubers. In pubs, the Holiday Punch is like one of, I don't know, is a really solid. It's a really solid option for countering Ubers. If you can hit the medic in the back, he will laugh, and essentially the heal beam is broken at that point. And then obviously in pubs, random crits are enabled, so sometimes you can just get a lucky punch off. Your other option is to do something similar to Scout, and is to try tanking the Uber. So like stand in the doorway, and you can buy a few seconds for your team. The Fist of Steel, and then like the Breast Beast and the Natasha are really helpful for this, because the Fist of Steel basically forces them to take out their melee if they want to deal with you quickly, and then the Brass Beast and Natasha, you have that extra 50% when your health drops below a certain point, so it again will buy your team a few extra seconds to get away. Demo, like Soldier and Pyro, is another very good class with for sacking Ubers. Basically you can use either of his primaries with the grenade launcher. Just make sure you shoot at their feet, because if you hit them in the chest, they don't really go anywhere. Stickies are probably the second best counter to Ubers in the game to air blast. You can basically send people flying. Just make sure you don't send them into your team or your medic. I've done that a few times. And then another good option is also the loose cannon. If you just I don't know, if you're just in a pub playing normal demo and the enemy team has a lot of Ubers, the loose cannon, is just a good option for a primary. Then it actually, I think it got nerfed in the past because it was too good at sacking Ubers. So yeah, NG, you can. Ugh. So for engineer, you have a few options. You can try knocking them around with their angled sentry rockets or the gun. But really, your best option is to try to just like put your gun in a doorway and then like tank it with your Wrangler. Or well, you can also even use your dispenser to tank because it has as much health as a level 3, so or a level 3 sentry, so it could buy you a few seconds. But yeah, tanking is probably your best option. Interestingly, NG is one of like the only classes in the game that can actually kill an Uber player. If you manage to telefrag them somehow, you'll kill them, as you can see in this clip. Medic, your best option is to counter Uber, basically. So if you see them Uber, just use your Uber. You can block them, and then since you waited, in theory, your Uber will last longer, and then you can kill you can use your Uber to kill their combo afterwards. You can also try taunt killing them. I tested it a few times, and it seems like if you taunt kill an Uber player, you get 50% Uber from the Uber saw, because you don't do the damage for the last 50% of the taunt. But yeah. Sniper, your only option is really either killing the medic before he Ubers, or you can try getting a taunt kill with your with the huntsman, because you know it stuns them. I tried a few other things, but none of them really worked. Like Girardi doesn't apply to Ubered players, and using crit bushwhacka doesn't actually do any more knockback than normal. Yeah, the normal melee. Spy, you have two options really. You can try body blocking with the Dead Ringer, which can buy your team a few seconds because you have that like extra. You have that extra damage. Your other option is wait for one of the players to jump, and then if you backstab them, they go fucking flying. It's like having 8 stickies at your feet. You can send them across the map. So yeah. So anyways, those are the main ways for each class to deal with an Uber push. I didn't necessarily go through everything, but I hope this video helps you more or less. And yeah, have a good day.